excited to see you here today. We've been wanting to talk about this specific topic for I don't know how long it's been. Because if you're someone wanting more success in any part of your life, then this episode is for you. We believe it's time to release the limiting beliefs that have or are holding you back. And for that matter, it's time to learn which beliefs that they are. Then and only then can you rewire your mind to reach its full potential by learning how to condition your mind for success in all the aspects of your life. Let's start this show just a little bit differently. So I'm going to ask you some questions that they're going to require some foresight before you actually get into the live stream. But I want to kind of prime your brain a little bit, okay? So are you happy with your life right now? I mean, truly happy. Is life everything that you hoped it would be? What about your relationships? Are they bubbling with passion and connection and deep depth? Are you in the best mental and physical health of your life? Are you achieving life experiences that you always hoped and dreamed about since you were a kid? Did you want to be an astronaut? Did you want to be a fireman? Did you want to be the president? Did you want to, what was that? Do you feel confident in who you authentically are and have the self-worth that attracts anything and everything that you deserve? And when it comes to fears that you might have in your business, where do you struggle the most? Well, what we will teach you this week is the reality you experience all comes down to you and the choices that you tap into, which lead to the actions that you take. And many people have a tendency to blame the outside world for their situations and circumstances. And that's a view of life that says the life we live is constantly being designed by forces outside of our control. And while it's feeling more and more like that in the world right now, we want to challenge, dismantle, and demolish that belief system. Well, there are some occasions when life will throw you a curveball. Oh gosh, we know that. And you can you're put into a situation where you just simply, you're just like you feel like it's out of control. But it's what you do with that curveball or the ripple effects of it that really makes the difference. And that is all up to you. It might not feel like it was your choice, but even inaction is a decision that you make.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 121, Releasing Limiting Beliefs and Getting Wired for Success. As you're joining us here on the stream, go ahead and enter in the comments where you're listening in from. Just take a few moments and just type where you're from. Your city and location would be awesome so we can kind of see our global reach, our global audience, and our global community. It's always great to see the different places that we end up reaching on a weekly basis. So go ahead, just let us know where you are right now in the world. And if this is your first time on the stream with us, we welcome you with open arms. And please go ahead and drop a hashtag first time in the comments so we know who you are. And if you're listening on the replay, because we get a whole pile of you guys on the replays, type hashtag replay so we can kind of know that and get notification that you're here, and we can come back and respond to any comments, questions, or aha experiences that you share with us in the comments. All right. There is something we want to tell you about, and also some exciting update on one of our offerings we'll be telling you about a little later in the stream. But first, can I start by saying we had a virtual roundtable event earlier this week, and it was amazing. Everyone who attended just couldn't say enough good things about it. So if you don't know what our VRT, Virtual Roundtable, is, it's an invitation-only free event that we put on where there's no selling or promotions. we just create a community of entrepreneurs who are more focused on relationship building and collaboration instead of competition and cutthroat mentality. Okay, I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but if it sounds interesting and you'd like to get an invite, drop a hashtag VRT in the comments and we'll send you the RSVP link through the Facebook Messenger. All right. Now in today's stream, we'll start by exposing and shining light on some of those limiting beliefs, because as entrepreneurs, many of us unknowingly enter into this journey filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, and everything in between. All right. Hey, welcome, Maya, I believe it is. Where our beliefs are more often than not the reason for your wins and the struggles that can stand in the way of your success. Okay, it's like when you start out, you're passionate about your cause, driven by your mission, and you boldly start this entrepreneurial journey with all your heart and soul. And at first, things seem promising as you're lifted by the winds of hope and optimism, right? And somewhere along the way, you find yourself facing these sneaky little things called limiting beliefs. All right. Maybe some of you are more familiar with them than others, but they often show up as those thoughts that creep in and whisper, you can't do that. Or what if you fail? Right? Well, we're going to shine light on these challenges and explore how they can affect your path to success, whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting to dip your toes into this incredible world. I promise you that you will want to stick around for this live stream today. We'll talk about self-doubt, the power of self-confidence, the fear of failure that can hold you back, how your relationship with money can either fuel your mission or run it dry. We'll also talk about the devastating impact of imposter syndrome, finding that delicate balance between purpose and profit, and navigating the often rocky road of scarcity thinking. All right. And so as we've worked with more and more people over the years, the stealthiness of limiting beliefs is a primary cause for why people end up in the reality where they feel as though they are falling short of achieving everything they wanted or living the life to the fullest of their capacity. So together, not only will we be pinpointing those roadblocks, but also we'll be paving the way for a more successful, impactful, and fulfilling entrepreneurial outcome. All right. Now, remember that we also have 2 private groups that you can join if you like our content and want to be a part of our online communities that are dedicated to and focused on reality testing, meaning testing out reality and how you can hack this infinity matrix and truly master the skills of creating empowered realities in business and in life. Each of those communities are hovering around 9,000, maybe a little over 9,000. And you are welcome to join for exclusive content and online events. So one is called Expanding Beyond Business Mastery, and the other is Evolving Reality Within the Infinity Matrix. The links are either pinned to the top or will be dropped into the comments for you to check them out. Each one of them will require you to fill out some questions, some member entry questions to be accepted as a member. So please make sure you answer those. If you're not already a member, please answer those 3 questions and then you'll be accepted as a member. If not, then Facebook just kind of bumps you out and you're just sitting in limbo. All right. So you can join us there for more exclusive group only content. All right. So that's facebook.com/groups/business beyond business mastery and facebook.com/groups/the infinity matrix, either of those. All right. And you're going to want to join one or both of those groups because we're always bringing exciting new stuff just for our members, and stuff that will only be accessible in those groups. All right. Once again, if it's your first time, hashtag first time in the comments. So we, both Ross and I and other community members, can greet you with warm virtual hugs. If you're a regular, type hashtag get wired, right? And if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay so we get the notifications.
There we go. All right, fantastic. We already have some first timers here that we've said hi to. So welcome, welcome. So when I asked earlier, are you happy with your life right now? And I said, I mean, truly happy. What did you feel? Not what was your answer. How did that question make you feel deep inside? Did it give you pause? Did your heart sink, or did you expound with joy and gratitude? Because do you feel that your life is a riveting suspense thriller with something exciting around every corner? Is it filled with growth and evolution? Is it everything that you imagined it would be? What about your relationships? Are they bubbling with passion, connection, and depth? I mean, are they really? And just like, you just can't wait to see your significant other at the end of the day, or in the morning, or whenever. Is it really there on a regular basis? Yeah, we all have our days. But on a regular basis, it's just really, really there. I asked if you're in the best mental and physical health of your life so far. If you're not, you need to start asking yourself why. How about achieving life experiences that you always hoped and dreamed about? Did you? Did you achieve those? Are you achieving those? Have you achieved those? Where are you at? Do you feel confident in who you authentically are and have the self-worth that attracts anything and everything that you deserve? And the answer to all of these questions is, if not, then why not? They haven't achieved any of these or some of these. Why not? You don't have to put it in the comments. You don't have to tell anybody. These are questions for you, and these are questions for you to be very, very truthful with. Well, because what we've been teaching since the inception of our Infinity Matrix groups is that the reality you experience all comes down to you and the choices you tap into, which lead to the actions that you're taking. And many people have that tendency to blame the outside world for their situations and their circumstances. You can call it a victim mentality, when we live constantly being designed by forces outside our control. We allow that to happen. And I know, as I said earlier, that the world is crazy right now. And it's designed right now to maybe possibly keep you off kilter. Make you feel that you're out of control. But this always has control. That's how we're going to challenge this. That's how we're going to dismantle and demolish the belief systems that you think that they control you. When I say they, this isn't the oobies people, the people in the shadows or anything like that. It's not what I'm saying. Circumstances and just the everyday other people that enter into your lives and throw you off balance. Because actually, it really doesn't have to be this way. While there are some occasions when life will throw you that curveball, and such, that happens, okay? We call them sync portals. They're experiences and events that happen in your life that help you learn how to better control your life and give you signals. And how you respond to those is completely up to you. So if you're currently in a job that you hate, that makes you highly stressed, then you're in that position because on some level or many levels, you chose to be there. It might not feel like it was a choice, but even inaction is a decision that you make. Maybe you chose not to find work elsewhere, or you chose to let those circumstances be seen as acceptable or tolerable. Over time, maybe you even chose to let your workplace take advantage of you by demanding more and more while refusing to compensate or reward you in the ways that you deserve. We could say the same for where you live, your relationships, your health, your mental and emotional well-being, and even your connection to your authentically powerful self. And for those who are new, that is our acronym for spiritually evolving life force. It's what's inside. It's the power that you have. So listen, you're here because deep down, you know you need to start making different choices. You need to access a different mindset and skill set to design the reality that you prefer. And the bottom line is this: you need to start making empowered choices sooner rather than later. This isn't something that you want to procrastinate on. You don't want to keep putting it off because it will compound in one way or another. It's time to start making some different choices if you really want to change. And there are all kinds of research that shows that it starts by recognizing that you have a choice. Then changing the way you think. And from there, it's about discovering your passion, discovering that fire that will get you to leap out of bed every morning and deciding to change the way you go about living life. It means presenting yourself as someone powerful, someone worthy, someone who purposely wired themselves for success. It doesn't just happen. In order to make a decision to change a belief or a perception about yourself or your life, you have to do it with a level of energy or intensity that creates an inward experience that's greater than the past experience, the one you're programmed by, the one you're living by. The moment this new experience becomes greater than the older one is the moment the past biology no longer exists. I'm going to give you an example. This is, I've told this before. It's actually a really cool story. When I met my wife, she was terrified of flying, not afraid of flying. She was terrified. And she needed to use very strong sedatives just to get on a plane. And the clincher is I didn't find out about this. Excuse me. I didn't find out about this until our honeymoon. It's just like she goes like, oh, by the way. So there's nothing really to worry about and such, but that is until the sedatives wore off. So you see, it's all about, when it comes to this, it's all about timing. It's like, how long was the flight? What dosage? When to take it prior to takeoff? Timing of it hitting the system, taking effect. The variables that now come into play: flight delays, weather. I'm so sorry. Weather, mechanical problems, turbulence. Yeah. I mean, traveling was good times. It's such. I mean, these pills were so strong. Is that I literally always had to be holding her, some part of her, and such. Otherwise, she would just kind of veer off and such. She was just very, very, very loopy. And so it made traveling interesting. So all of this went on for probably a couple of years, and until she found something greater than her fear. So I remember, I'll never forget this day that I came home and she told me that she booked a flight to attend a seminar without me because I was already traveling. And I was shocked. I'm like, no, I can't go. I said, what are you doing? I said, I can't go. I'm already going to be in Atlanta or someplace like that. I'm just like, I can't do this. And she goes, no, I'm going to go alone. And I was absolutely stunned. I'm like, that's not going to work. And she's like, no, I got it all handled. I'm like, well, what do you mean? She goes, I'm going to do this. I am going to do this because I really want to get to that seminar because it was very important to her. And it was like a 5-day program. So she said, I really want to go to this. It's that important. I'm like, okay, that's great. And I said, but you can't go, you can't take the pills. And she's, no, I got it all handled, And so she says, I can do this. I want to do this. And what this meant was that her inner strength became her new sedative replacement. And this happened because the novel experience that she was having took her out of her typical resting state. The circuitry in her brain rewires and new improved networks were created, which then caused the brain to make new chemicals and send new emotional signals to the body. In her case, this new experience was an experience that she would never forget, and the experience became a long-term memory. And that's when the body moves from living in the past to living in the present future. A kind of, I did it once, so I can do it again and again and again. And today she flies by herself all the time. It's that mindset. Each time she gets on a plane, she's reinforcing the networks, reinforcing the chemical reactions, reinforcing her new normal. And thus her new reality line begins. And these new experiences don't have to be extreme or powerful. Or they don't have to be extreme to be powerful, excuse me. The only requirement is that they produce a level of energy greater than the one that you're trying to override. Now, that doesn't mean that the memory will go away. It'll still be there, but it won't have the same kind of power over you. And a memory without the emotional charge can now be referred to as wisdom. In her case, her will to be free of the fear was greater than the fear itself. Her determination to push herself past her limitations was greater than her programming. Her want to rewrite the ending of her story far exceeded any obstacle that could be put in her path. And once that happened, the program would be rewritten, which would allow for a cascade of neurological, chemical, and genetic changes. So to quantify this, researchers have ultimately found that individuals can change their moods to become more focused and eager, since this action can become a learned behavior through the process of repetition, which builds and reinforces the neural pathways that their participants could successfully activate the part of their brain that recalls the motivational moment or moments. That's what my wife did, and what she continues to do. By paying attention to their internal thinking and feelings, they affected a change in their external world, and thus affected the change in their biology, thus allowing for another cascade of neurological, chemical, and genetic changes. So we know that motivation happens through association. So first we think of something that we want to achieve. Then we create a correlating emotional state, and then our biochemistry follows. So neurologically speaking, when we turn on the centers of our brain responsible for motivation and inspiration, we are selecting and instructing the very circuitry already in place in the brain to become motivated. Now, mind you, circuitry in the brain that we purposely designed and integrated into the brain's system. We wired it for success. If you have truly learned this action, and can thus reproduce the experience on command, then you've successfully wired a new set of neural architecture and hardware for your brain. And when we repeatedly fire and wire these new pathways through pre-existing circuits of the brain, we are laying down new byways across our brain by which information can travel. Through that repetition of thought, reinforced by actions, information continuously travels across these byways and enriches and bolsters the brain's synaptic connections, thus reinforces the firing and wiring of the network. Think of this like muscle memory for the brain and ultimately for your life. The idea is to continually create as many of these new neural superhighways. And through practice and repetition, you should be able to turn these centers on by command. This is what we do when we motivate ourselves to move into a creative state. We cause the circuits to become more accessible to us than we need to use them again and again and again. In the example of motivation, if you keep practicing this firing and wiring through the mental rehearsal of matching a thought with a correlating feeling, over time, you're going to get pretty good at activating the brain's motivational centers on command. You're wired for success. So obviously, this isn't limited to motivation. This can be applied to any behavior you want to change or create. Exercise, eating habits, addictions, and so on. But when it comes time to change yourself or your life, just thinking about it isn't going to do much unless the thought is combined with some type of inspiration or motivation. And I might add, this is a success habit of every successful sports figure, CEO, celebrity, artist, and the list goes on and on. If you read biographies or interviews and such, you're going to see this pattern that they all have, regardless of what profession that they have. They've wired themselves for this. It's true that the more you can master these elevated states, the easier it will be for your behaviors to match your intentions. Hence, the next time you're thinking about doing something great, make sure you put down the remote control, turn off your computer, turn off your smartphone, and become that feeling of empowerment. Be it. I'm going to say this again. The next time you're thinking about doing something great, put down the remote control, turn off your computer, set aside, turn off your smartphone, relax, close your eyes, and become the feeling of empowerment. You simply be empowerment. And you're going to be surprised where it takes you over time. So with all this in mind, we also have some great news for you. Okay? To do this, you don't need an airplane. You don't need pills. You don't need a horrendous fear to make this work for you. You just need the want and the will to make it happen. So I hope you've enjoyed this part of the live stream on releasing limiting beliefs and getting wired for success. So Gary and I are sharing this snippet of this powerful insights and techniques from our Get Wired for Success upcoming masterclass. And all the proceeds for this masterclass are going to go to charity. And it's not super expensive anyhow, but we've been wanting to do this for a long time. So if you're ready to fully rewire your mind to attract the life that you truly want, I highly recommend checking it out and joining us. And in this, you're going to get in-depth training on how to specifically design your reality, The masterclass will cover everything from making your dreams a priority to overcoming fears, mastering the law of attraction, finding your purpose, and building success habits, and a whole lot more. So we're going to be offering access to this transformative class for a really low price to encourage people to participate and support our charity. We're locking in the specifics of which charity right now. It's probably going to be our PTSD. That's kind of our favorite. And we'll give you more details as it all unfolds. So 100% of the proceeds will go to our charity. So if you want some high level training and contribute to a powerful cause, come check it out. And to get more details on when we will open the doors for registration, just drop a hashtag #GetWired, hashtag #GetWired in the comments, and we'll add you to the list of people who get notified. We feel this information can really, really empower people, especially during all this craziness going on in the world. And this is very similar to the type of program that we use for people with PTSD, because it's all about overriding those traumatic experiences. So all I have to do is drop hashtag #GetWired, and we'll be in touch. We'll be thinking, Gary, was it sometime in October?
Yes.
This month coming up? Yeah. So we're really excited. We really, really are. And this is going to be intense. This is a lot. So this isn't some, little, what I always like to call them is like some of the ebooks that you get where it's like, 5 words on a page. It's just like, this is intense. It's going to be a few hours long. You're going to get a lot. Once we get the date set, we'll rush you the registration details so that you can participate. So don't miss this opportunity. Invest in yourself, invest in a cause, and invest in your own mindset transformation. You have the power to create the reality with the results that you want in your life. We've proved it. We've been doing this for over a decade now. So take that first step and join us in the masterclass, Get Wired for Success. And Gary and I are going to be looking this is going to be us. This is going to be us. We're not going to make this a huge class. So it's going to be more of a one-on-one. So you're going to get a lot of us helping you out. So join us. We're really looking forward to it.
All right, so here's the thing. Like Ross's wife, you may feel the impact of a limiting belief, but often you just don't know why you think, feel, or act in those ways that hold you back or prevent you from achieving the things you want to achieve. All right. It's kind of a mystery sometimes. You seem to just go on autopilot and end up suffering the consequences as if you had no choice. Right. Remember, Ross talks a little bit about choice.
I like your pun. Fear of flying autopilot. I like that. That's good.
Right? But the first step to releasing the limiting beliefs and setting yourself up for getting wired for success is awareness of what the actual beliefs are. All right. And I already mentioned some of these at the beginning of the live stream. So let's really dive into what they are and the implications they may have and why it's important to get wired for success instead. All right. So let's start. So the first one is self-doubt. Right. It shows up like this type of inner dialogue. As a purpose-driven entrepreneur, you often catch yourself doubting your abilities, right? You question whether you're truly making a difference or if you have what it takes to bring about the change you're so passionate about, right? It's easy to get lost in the enormity of your purpose, your mission, your vision, and then you wonder if you're just if you're just one person against a tidal wave of challenges, right? So self-doubt is the quiet but persistent voice in your head that challenges your worthiness and your capabilities. And as an entrepreneur, we often wear our hearts on our sleeves, right? We're deeply committed to causes that mean the world to us. Yet, this very commitment can become fertile ground for self-doubt to take root. And you might find yourself wondering, am I truly making a difference? Can I really affect change in this world? We've been there too, right? Questioning whether our efforts can measure up to the scale of the challenges we face. And the interesting thing is, the larger the vision, the larger the challenges tend to be with it, right? But here's the thing, self-doubt is a common companion on the path to greatness. It's not just reserved for the inexperienced or the uncertain. You'll find that even, Ross talked about, reading different biographies and stuff like that. You'll find that even the most accomplished, purpose-driven individuals have or continue to wrestle with it. But the key lies in acknowledging it and using it as a driving force. Recognizing that self-doubt is a sign that you care deeply about your vision, your mission, your purpose. It's a reminder that you're stretching beyond your comfort zone. And remembering that those doubts can be stepping stones to your greatness, to your growth, and to your evolution, right? When you learn to push through them, when you learn to transform them, you emerge on the other side stronger, more resilient, and even more passionate about your cause, right? Then there's fear of failure. This is a heavy cloud that sometimes looms over your entrepreneurial journey, where you worry that if your venture, you worry about whether your venture will succeed or not, right? And it's not just a personal setback, it's a failure in the cause that you care about so much, or your vision that you put so much energy into, right? And the fear of letting down those you aim to help can really be paralyzing. So let me tell you, every successful person, everyone that you admire, is currently facing this fear head on in some way, shape, or form, right? So let's tackle this dreaded fear of failure. It's this voice that warns us of the consequences of falling short, not just for yourself, but for the successes you're striving for and the impact you want to make. It's the quiet, it's quite common to fear that failure might reflect poorly on your purpose that you've dedicated yourself. It's common. So accept that, understand that. If you feel like it's only just happening to you, right, then that makes it harder to overcome. But like I said, every successful person you admire is currently facing or has faced fear head on. What sets them apart is their ability to see failure not as an end, but as a stepping stone. And I'm sure you've heard those types of catchwords or seen memes over and over and over. I get it. The key is that they learn how to turn those fears around in a 180-degree direction. And instead of letting it paralyze them, they use it as a powerful teacher and a force of empowerment, right? So the next time you feel that fear creeping in, just remember that failure is a part of the journey. It's where you'll learn, it's where you'll grow, it's where you'll discover new ways to achieve your goals, right? To start embracing it as a necessary thing, right? Yes, at first it can seem like this annoying and uncomfortable companion on your path to success. I get it, right? We understand. But when you can flip it, when you learn how to flip it 180 degrees, it might just be your most welcomed friend. In most cases, it is. Right? And the next one has many layers and can be very complex. And it's your money mindset. Maybe you often struggle with the belief that making money is somehow at odds with your purpose or your core values. Anyone here feel any of that? Okay. There's this nagging thought that seeking profit, it means I'm not committed to my spiritual purpose, right? It's when you find it challenging to find that balance and understand that financial success can be a powerful tool to drive even greater positive changes in the world. So money mindset can be a tricky one, all right? Especially as purpose-driven entrepreneurs. You might find sometimes that you feel torn between making a profit and staying true to who you are spiritually. So society and certain cultures have conditioned us to easily fall into the belief that earning money somehow diminishes your commitment or your contribution to your fellow humans. It's just not the case, right? Especially if you're purpose-driven, because you're doing it on purpose. You're doing it from an integral place. Right? And like many things that were conditioned by society or culture, this couldn't be any further from the truth, right? Money is just a tool, a powerful one at that, but it's just a tool. It's a resource that can supercharge your mission and amplify your impact. So consider it as the fuel that propels you and your purpose-driven vehicle further and faster. Right? Changing your money mindset is about recognizing that financial success isn't a betrayal of your authentic self. Okay? It's something that can help it shine even brighter. And when you embrace a healthy money mindset, you open doors to greater resources, greater opportunities, and ultimately more significant positive change. So work on reframing your thinking. Instead of seeing profit as a necessary evil, see it as a force for good. When it's filtered through you, when it's channeled through you, it's a force for good. When your purpose aligns with your financial success, you can achieve not only personal fulfillment, but also make an even more profound impact on the world. Okay? Now, being an entrepreneur seems to make us more susceptible to these beliefs that really test who we are at the core. But by confronting self-doubt, facing the fears of failure, and reshaping our money mindset, we can transform these challenges into stepping stones that lead you towards success and the realization that inner and outer realities that you desire can coincide. All right. And then there's the imposter syndrome. Oh, imposter syndrome, you sneaky thing. Right? I've been coaching and consulting businesses for almost 30 years, and this one has been around for quite some time. I certainly come across it more in my clients over the last 5 to 10 years, though. So there definitely has been an increase in that, probably because the acceptance of the term more than anything else. And it's that constant feeling that you're not as qualified or experienced as others in your field. Okay, I see some hearts going on. Okay, so some people are feeling that one. All right, and so you feel that you're not as qualified or experienced as others in your field, and sometimes you think, do I really belong here? Right, pushing my product or my service? Who am I? Right? It's like you're waiting for someone, around every corner to expose you as a fraud. Right? All right. So that's true. Interpret says, yeah. Imposter syndrome can be like your shadowy companion on this business journey, right? It's that nagging feeling that despite your achievements, no matter what you've done or how much you've done it, and your successes, you're somehow just pretending, right? And sooner or later, someone will expose us as fraud, right? So you tend to seek the next certification in hopes that you will make that it will make you enough. All right. Well, let's face it. It's incredibly challenging to own your expertise with confidence, right? When that inner voice keeps whispering, you're not good enough. But here's the secret. Imposter syndrome is often a sign when your humility and your dedication to what you care about is in alignment. Right? It means that you care deeply about what you do and you hold yourself to higher standards. Right? You're recognizing that every successful person has grappled with this feeling at some time. Recognize that. Okay? Usually when they're first starting out, but even in their journey. Right? So it's not a reflection of your abilities, but a reminder of your commitment to growth. Okay, so just take a deep breath. Acknowledge your accomplishments, no matter how small, no matter how because small is a judgment measurement, right? It's small to you, maybe large to someone else who needs your service, right? Or quantity may be different. What you think is is a small amount, maybe a lot to someone else who needs your service. So that's a self-judgment variable, right? So take a deep breath, acknowledge those accomplishments, and remind yourself that you've earned your place on this journey. So embrace your expertise with the confidence that it deserves. Right? And the next one I'm going to talk about seems to be attached to money mindset and imposter syndrome. So it's like if those two had a baby, it would come out as scarcity mindset.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. It's when you struggle with the belief that there just aren't enough customers or resources available for your business to thrive in a crowded marketplace. Right? And it fuels a destructive sense of competition instead of collaboration. When you know deep down, there's only abundance all around you at all times. Just a matter of what you're focusing on. Right? So this mindset, this scarcity mindset can breed competition and fear, making you believe that you have to fight tooth and nail for every customer and achieve, and for every achievement or every success. Right? Well, in this infinity matrix that we've been talking about for 4 years now, we are always talking about it on these live streams, that the reality is that the world is abundant and the opportunities are plentiful. So your goal shouldn't be to compete for a limited slice of the pie. It's to either create a bigger pie for everyone or realize that the pie is so big that everyone can get exactly what they need to be fully nourished as their true authentic self. Right? And purpose-driven entrepreneurs can thrive when they collaborate, when they share knowledge, and when they build supportive communities. Right? And this is one of the primary reasons why we started the virtual roundtable events. Right? For those of you who don't know, I mentioned a little earlier, but the virtual roundtable, or VRT as we call them, is an invitation-only free live event that we do on Zoom, right? And we do them a couple times a month. It's a unique event where there's no selling, there's no elevator pitches, there's no promotions of any kind, right? The intention is to have a place where Purpose-driven entrepreneurs can come together under the umbrella of collaboration instead of competition, and building relationships instead of aggressive and desperate selling. Right? And we started hosting these virtual roundtables last month, ending of July, right? And everyone that we've had, everyone who's attended got massive value and raved about the experience and the connections they had in such a short time in a place that was around collaboration instead of competition, right? So if you're interested and you'd like to come and join and check us out, check it out for yourself. It is by invitation only. So drop a hashtag VRT in the comments. That's hashtag VRT for Virtual Roundtable in the comments. And one of us or our support staff will send you a DM in Facebook Messenger with the link to RSVP with upcoming dates and times. Okay. If you do not respond to our initial message on in that DM, we will not send you the link. So please keep an eye on your FB notifications for our message. Once again, drop a hashtag VRT when you want us to, if you want us to invite you to join us on that event. All right. This VRT experience is a great way to begin shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Right? You'll quickly realize with one of the first exercises we do in there, one of the first things we do for building relationships in there, you'll quickly realize and trust that there's more than enough to go around. And by uplifting others, you can create a rising tide that lifts all boats. Okay, and that leaves the final limiting belief that we want to shed light on today, and that is a powerful one that has massive ripple effect throughout your life, and that is the belief that you have to be or only deliver perfection. Okay, so Inderpreet says the VRT is amazing. Learning in VRT experience before. Yeah, awesome. Great. Yeah, I know you had a great time there. So perfectionism is when you're agonizing over perfecting every little detail of your product or service before allowing yourself to launch. Right? This can be a crippling belief as an entrepreneur. Right. Ross and I have been in partnerships where other partners, the other person in partnership was like, because of their perfectionism, it was like a lightning bolt of destruction on the launching and delivery of products or services that could have made a massive impact on the planet. It's when you feel paralyzed by fear of criticism if it's not absolutely polished, or when ego steps in and wants to shine as the best of the best at any cost, right? This constant need for perfection stifles real progression. Perfectionism can be the silent saboteur of the reality you desire. It's that relentless pursuit of flawlessness and the need to polish every detail until it shines when no shine will ever be good enough. All right? It just paralyzes your progress. And the result tends to be an inability to just launch your product or services. Right? Just puts a dead hot stop to it. And just about the thing to know is just about everyone striving for something worthwhile knows the fear of criticism, right? Has the worry that it might not work out, might not be good enough. But as I tell my clients, good enough is good enough. Okay. Launch with that and then work on perfecting it. Because the truth is that perfection doesn't guarantee success anyways, right? But it does encourage stagnation and especially at different stages of your business journey. Real progress and innovation comes from embracing imperfection and learning from your mistakes. So learn how to rewire your mind and embrace the idea that your work, your contribution, your gift to the planet doesn't need to be flawless. It just needs to be authentically you. That's it. All right? Recognize that your journey is a constant evolution. All right? It means there's always another level. And every iteration brings you one step closer to your goals, to the vision that you have, to fulfilling your purpose or mission. So release from the need for perfection while embracing being exceptional. And you'll find the freedom to make real strides towards your purpose-driven goals. Right? And in the grand tapestry of entrepreneurship, these are just a few panels that can be stumbling blocks for your business success. But when you can get wired for success and confront imposter syndrome, when you can shift from scarcity to abundance, and when you can let go of perfectionism, you'll transform challenges into the very tools you need to propel you towards success and a greater positive impact. All right? And that's our live stream for today, everyone. If you enjoy the content that we bring, please help us with the algorithm and show us some of those emojis, drop some comments, ask some questions, share some insights. Also share this with someone you care about so that the platform sees that more and more people need this to get this kind of contact. All right? Until next time, we'll leave you with this. We dare you to be exceptional. And the only way to do that is to implement what you learn and learn from what you implement. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next Thursday.
We have one more announcement. Next week, we have a really amazing guest on the Infinite Wisdom interview series. Her name is Salacro, and she's a natural psychic medium. This is going to be so cool. She has worked for over 30 years as a seer, and her passion for the psychic arts has led her to become an intuitive healer, an educator, and an author. She's got, I think, 5 or 6 books out. So she's a really compassionate, and she's dedicated to be a healer who helps connect us with our own spirit, as well as those of our beloved dead and of this absolute sacred planet. So be with us next week for the Infinite Wisdom interview series. This is going to be out of this world.
Absolutely. And make sure if you haven't already joined one of the groups, go ahead and do that. Again, the links are in the comments. We always have new innovative stuff that we're coming up and we're sharing and ideas. And so, and especially moving into 2024, we got some really great ideas that we're going to be sharing in the group. So make sure you are a part of that and you catch wind of it before it happens and you don't miss out. All right. Until next week, be well, everyone.
Y'all later.
Thank you for being here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so, I'm going to take this time here. I'm going to ask you to just play along here with us just for a little bit, okay? If possible, and if you're in a place where it's safe to do so, just close your eyes for a few moments and let us take you on an imagination where we transport you to a unique place. Let's say it's a sanctuary where minds converge in conscious collaboration. Imagine that. And we're all headed there together, even though it will be unique to each of us in this space. There's no room for the typical noise of selling, no elevator pitches, and certainly no awkward self-promotion that just turns people off. Okay? Instead, it's a space where authenticity reigns supreme, where pure relationship building and collaboration take center stage. So imagine joining in this space, feeling an immediate sense of warmth and camaraderie. You greet and you're greeted by purpose-driven entrepreneurs and thought leaders from diverse backgrounds all gathered with a shared intention to connect, to learn, to grow together. And the air just swells with the vibrant energy of possibility and the excitement of collective wisdom.
Okay, so keeping your eyes closed, continue to imagine that as you participate with the intention of service, you become part of engaging and deep conversations. Everyone is actively listening to one another with genuine interest. There are no ulterior motives or hidden agendas. Everyone is focused on understanding, empathizing, and learning from each other. It's a place where vulnerability is celebrated. For it's through vulnerability that true connection is forged. In this space, you are not just a name or a title. You are seen, you're heard, and valued for your unique perspective and contribution that goes beyond your business label. You feel a sense of belonging and empowerment, knowing that your voice matters and that your ideas have the potential to create positive change for those in the meeting with you. By you participating in this virtual environment, we are co-creating a sanctuary of conscious collaboration where the power of collective minds can be unleashed. It's a departure from the traditional business landscape where competition often has been valued and often overshadows collaboration. But here, we prioritize collaboration over competition, recognizing that by working together, we can achieve far more by working than working in isolation.
Yeah, and so we are imagining this transformative journey together. And in doing that, we can embrace a place where purpose-driven entrepreneurs and thought leaders converge, where authenticity and relationships are the currency, and where collaboration is the catalyst for remarkable achievements. Just imagine that. Now, go ahead and open your eyes, come back, and let's begin to build this reality together, right here, right now. Here are a few things you need to know to be ready for the virtual roundtable. First thing is that you need to be there right on time or early if possible, because we want to honor everyone's time and start into the experience right away. Because once we get going, there's such a flow of creative interactions and ideas that it's important that we actually head right into the breakout rooms about 5 minutes in, so we don't really waste a lot of time. So to prevent interruptions, we won't be letting anyone in late. And that's a strict rule, a strict boundary we're going to stick by.
Exactly. And second thing is that you need to be camera ready. This is not a sit behind a blank screen experience. There are no spectators. Have pen and paper ready. You have to have your camera on in order to really participate with your partners, in order to build those relationships and those collaborations. Think of this like the blending of a super powerful mastermind with the time and the efficiency of a speed dating service. So you can expect efficient use of your time and a variety of interactions with like-minded entrepreneurs in a no-pressure environment for a powerful bonding experience. So, for example, let's say you had individual meetings with, let's say, 20 people at 30 minutes each. Well, that would take you 10 hours. But instead, if you met those 20 people in 1 2-hour day, you're going to have a relationship and a bond with everyone in the virtual roundtable. So this is such a smart, efficient use of your time when you come to these events.
Absolutely. And the most important rule is that everything we do here is in a safe place.
Absolutely.
You can show up as your authentic self and know that you have a space where you can get real help. This also sets the tone so that you get amazing value from each event. You're going to leave with solid connections, absolutely. Now, let's face it, being an entrepreneur can sometimes be so isolating. Well, it's time for us to change that, right? And when you have a community like this, you're going to want to come back and interact with familiar and new members on a regular basis. So remember that imagining that we had you do a little earlier today in the video? Well, we are going to facilitate that kind of experience for those who show up. All right. Once again, thanks for being here and taking action. As we all know, that's the only way to get things done. Now, let's connect, get empowered, and create an impact. If you have any questions, you can DM either Ross or myself on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you in our next virtual roundtable.
We'll see you
Thanks.
there. Thanks. Bye-bye.